Hi, and welcome to episode 21 of Tennis Volley Talk with Brian Danielson. Today, I was going to try to get over the phone interview again with someone. But anyway, they were not able to make that. So tonight, what I'm going to be doing is talking a little bit about the four major tennis tournaments: the Australian Open, the French Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open tennis, the four major tennis tournaments. But also giving congratulations to the 2023 winners of just the recent French Open, Novak Djokovic, and then Iga Swiatek. Congratulations to both of them. Winning Novak Djokovic actually has 2 legs under his belt to become a Grand Slam champion, which meaning if he wins the next 2, the Wimbledon and US Open, then he would join an elite company of winning all 4 major tournaments, those 4 major tournaments in 1 calendar year. So and then Iga, she is been playing so good. She always plays very good at the French Open, and she won in her match and won the French Open trophy in very Polish tennis player, and has become in her own right a very good tennis player. And she did very well, and both of them did. So congratulations to them both. But anyway, with that in mind, what I'm going to do is really actually the 4 Grand Slam tennis tournaments, like I was saying, are the Australian Open in Australia, and those that is in our Australian Open, and then that's in like mid-January to mid-January, and then to the last of January. Then we have the French Open, which is known as the Roland Garros championships on red clay in Paris, and that's from late May to early June that is played. And then we have Wimbledon, that is in June, July, latter part of June, first part of July, that is played in. And then there's the US Open, which is late August into first part of September. And so with that, those are the 4 majors and when they're played for that calendar year. Now, in the tennis Grand Slam refers to the accomplishment of winning all 4 majors in 1 calendar year. Now, that's been done 6 times, and only one player has won the Golden Slam, which is winning all 4 majors in 1 year and then winning the Olympics, and that was Stefi Graf. But there's been 6 players altogether that has won the Grand Slam championships, and that was won by Don Budge, and that was in 1938. And then there was Maureen Conley, became the second and the first one to win the Grand Slam, and that was in 1953. And then there was American Rod Laver. Now, he actually did this feat when he was an amateur in 1962, but then he did it again, so he would be the 3rd and 4th, person, in a sense. He won it twice. In 1969, whenever it became an open era in tennis for everybody to play in that, and when the slams became open. In 1970, Margaret Court, and that was the second female to win it. And then there was the Stefi Graf, which then became the 6th, and she won the Golden Slam, meaning that she did win all 4 majors. and then she won the Olympics gold. So that was the only person, Stefi Graf, to actually win the Golden Slam. And that is an accomplishment of herself. And that was back in 1988, which then was a wonderful year that she had playing tennis at that particular time also. And so congratulations to her. And with that too, the four major tournaments, they're actually played on a Hartrue in Australia. Then we have the red clay, which is in Paris, which is Roland Garros or French Open tennis, and that's on red clay. And then right after that, then they have to go from the slow red hitting red clay, then they go from there to the fast grass surface of Wimbledon. And so they're in the midst of doing the warm-up tournaments. They're going to be doing that for the next couple of weeks before then Wimbledon starts, and then the All England Club of Wimbledon. Then they're going to play that, and that lasts for the 2 weeks. And then after that, then we have on Hartrue courts, then the Wimbledon is on grass, of course. And then the Hartrue courts of the US Open again in August, September, which then by that time, August, September in New York tends to be very, very, very hot and humid. More so humid that takes a lot out of the players, other than the Australian Open, which is just plain hot whenever it's 100 degrees out in the court. But I don't think there's that much humidity. It's just more hot. But in New York, it's more humid, and that takes a lot out of the players too, that they can not make it past a match. They have to, some of them have actually defaulted for matches because they just were drained and couldn't play anymore because it was so hot and muggy in New York at the time. And so, with that in mind too, they have a lot of great champions in all of the major tournaments. Some of the players have actually won what they call a calendar, which they win all four of the majors, but it's not within the same calendar year. But they've won all four major tournaments too. One of them being Andre Aggisi, and which is a very good player in that respect. And we had winning the U.S. Open. Of course, we had Aggisi that won the Open. We had Pete Sampras that won the U.S. Open. We've had Jim Courier that has won the U.S. Open also, which is always a good feeling for the U.S. players to be able to win the U.S. Open too, with that in mind. And just in general, being able to play on all four surfaces and be as good as they are in playing all the way through the year. Hardly any breaks in between. It's kind of a full tennis year that they have things that go on with that. So with that, sorry about that. Didn't realize my phone was on, but sorry about that. So I will get back to that person. So with that too in mind, what I will be doing is hopefully that one of the people that I will be getting back to hopefully will be another Tulsa person where I grew up playing tennis, and I will be talking about Tulsa Tennis Club, which is one of the oldest tennis clubs in Tulsa, established in 1926. With that too. And hopefully, probably in about a couple of weeks, then I'll be giving him a call and and then I will be covering a phone interview with him and another person that has more of the insight of those courts and through World War II and all that, and how it became established in a big neighborhood of Tulsa, Oklahoma. But with that, there, the being able to have these players that are so versed with playing on all different surfaces. Right now, I would think that you have so many that are out there that are becoming very well. Carlos Alcaraz, he's one of them, a Spaniard. Then he's kind of in a way kind of taking over Rafa Nadal's spot as the number one player. However, being at 37 years old, Novak Djokovic, everybody's still having a hard time trying to knock him off of his crown. He's been doing that for over 10 years and being one of the top 1, 2, or 3 players in the world. And a lot of credit to him taking care of his body like he has. Not very many bad injuries that he's had over the years. So, and that's what keeps him going. And everybody just has a hard time trying to beat him. But that's kind of the odds-on favorite, I think, that possibly could win. And he's kind of regulating his time this year and not playing as many and not being playing and not getting as tired. So I think he's going to be pacing himself fairly decent. So he will be fresh for each one and not be worn out. When he did almost, he came up across Medvedev and Daniel Medvedev in the U.S. Open a couple of years ago, but he lost. But he had been playing so many tournaments over that whole year that he was worn out by the time the U.S. Open came, and then he lost to Daniel Medvedev, but which was a very good match. But he's actually gotten revenge on Daniel Medvedev since then too. So there's been some fantastic matches over the years already, and with that, that's kind of my history of what I'm trying to do. Let you know a little bit more about all 4 major tournaments and the players that some of the players that have won them, and with that in mind. But now, with that in mind, what I'm going to be doing now this is for also you YouTubers. You're going to see what I'm going to be talking about, the racket of the day. And I do want you YouTubers to subscribe and like my channel. Let me know on comments what you might want me to do. If you like the history of things that I try to do, and with the rackets that I have, many older rackets, and learning the history of those and the manufacturer of those rackets. So just be sure and let me know that. And then the racket of the day here that's going to be coming up. Also for you podcasters, you can go to my YouTube channel, Tennis Volley Talk, and then you can see what I'm talking about as far as the racket that I will be showing here on the YouTube channel people. You can go onto my YouTube channel, Tennis Volley Talk, and then look at what I'm talking about with the racket of the day, and see what I'm talking about and learn a little bit more. But anyway, today, without any further ado, we have today is what we call the Devon racket. It's the Devon racket, and it's an American. It's actually a Wright-Ditson American Eagle racket, and that's the symbol behind it. Now, this particular racket probably was used and played with in probably the early 1930s, and probably was played up until like the mid 1940s with the racket that you see here. The Wright-Ditson, of course, was the manufacturer that made it. Made in Wright-Ditson in the USA. And Wright-Ditson, of course, that was actually founded back in 1878 by George Wright and Henry Ditson. And they both owned companies, and then they formed the one company, Wright-Ditson Sporting Goods, and the American imports of tennis rackets. Equipment, and Wright-Ditson rackets were kind of lopsided at first with how they were. And they actually did have Wright-Ditson tennis balls. That was the official ball for many championships that were played, the U.S. championships, and in that respect too. Wright-Ditson found years ago. Wright-Ditson about 180 years ago in 1871 by actually by a baseball Hall of Famer, George Wright, Boston businessman Henry Ditson became a purveyor of tennis, golf, and baseball, known for craftsmanship, crafting the finest tennis rackets, precision rackets of that, and baseball equipment. They became suppliers of athletic goods in the entire nation. They specific relationship with the city of the professional baseball tennis of Boston supplied uniforms to the Boston teams back then, the Boston White Stockings and the Boston Red Stockings back in the day, from about 1871 to 1907, including that aspect of it too. Now, products, when manufactured by Wright-Ditson in the late 19th and 20th century, its lawn tennis equipment received the greatest acclaims, though, with that also the greatest acclaims with their rackets that they had back in the day. Now, that for you podcasters, be sure and go to my YouTube channel, Tennis Volley Talk, if you want to see this racket that I'm talking about, the Devon Wright-Ditson American Eagle racket. In very good, like about used in probably 1930s, mid 40s, up until the mid 40s for that racket. And the 25 times in 1886 to 1916, the National All-Comers Championship wielded a Wright-Ditson racket that he used to play in the U.S. championships every year for 60 years, beginning in 1887. And they used that, and the Wright-Ditson tennis ball was the official ball that they used for playing tennis. It was the official ball for everybody until Wilson came in, the whole different kind of tennis ball manufacturers that came into existence. Wilson and the Penn, Pennsylvania back in the day, Penn balls, and Dunlop, and they had Spalding tennis balls, and they had different color balls at one time. They thought that an orange ball, the Penn orange ball, would be a good ball to see on the court because it was all orange. And then they came up with the two-toned orange and yellow ball. I think that was Penn also. And they kind of figured that would be, more of a brighter, the combination of the orange and yellow, some people would be able to see it a lot better. But back in the day when it all first started out, it was white tennis balls that were used. And sometimes pretty hard to see sometimes with if you were on the white cement courts or anything of that nature. But with that in mind, I just wanted to let you know then, you YouTubers, be sure and go to my channel, like it, subscribe if you can. Anything that you can do to help would be good. Let me know what you want me to talk about if you like that. Would like to know that. Let me know. And let me know what you'd like for me to talk about. If you like the history that I do talk about with the tennis rackets that I have, and showing the racket of the day. And then also for you podcasters, like I said, the racket of the day is for you too. If you want to see what I'm talking about with the racket of the day, go to my YouTube channel, Tennis Volley Talk, and subscribe to if you want to. Let me know in comments what you want to hear. I would like to hear that from anybody at the time, doing that. So with that in mind, I do thank you for joining me again for my 21st episode. And everybody getting nice out. Keep on playing, and happy tennis playing through this summer season in tennis, and enjoy. And thank you very much for listening and joining me on my tennis podcast, Tennis Volley Talk. Have a good day and a good week, everybody.